everyone. Welcome. My name is Tammy. I'm from the blog Nutmeg Notebook. Today I want to show you how to make an oven roasted version of ratatouille. I first learned how to make this from Chef AJ. I'm a member of her Ultimate Weight Loss online program, and Tom and I absolutely love this. I actually was making it and eating it for quite a while, and he hadn't tried it, and one day he opened up the refrigerator and he saw a container of it and he thought, well, I'll try that. And he felt like I'd been holding out on him because it is so delicious. And he thinks it gets better after it ages for a couple of days in the fridge. So I like to make a couple of trays of this at a time. It has, and you can use whatever vegetables you want, but it has eggplant, mushrooms, I like the different colored bell peppers just because it makes it really pretty, some zucchini squash, and this is some yellow summer squash. I have a red onion, I also have a sweet onion, and then the little salad tomatoes. And you know, you buy these and maybe they don't get all eaten and they start to get a little puckery. I don't know if you can see that. These are not bad, they're just starting to get a little bit dehydrated. And I learned from a different chef that go ahead and use these because they're perfect if you're going to cook with them. So I don't let these go to waste. We throw them in the ratatouille. You don't need any oil in this because there's plenty of moisture in the mushrooms and the onions and the peppers and the eggplant and the squash. So it's not going to stick. I do line my baking sheets with parchment paper. If you have the Silpat mats, you can use those as well. So I'm just going to get started chopping up the vegetables. You can do as much or as little as you want to do. It just depends on how much you can eat before it'll spoil. I'll make it, it will last 4 or 5 days in the refrigerator. So I make up a big batch because we share it. So we'll just get started here. Okay, so one thing you want to make sure when you're making this is that you cut the vegetables about the same size because we want them all to cook evenly. So you don't want great big chunks of one vegetable and small pieces of another. If you don't like eggplant or you don't like mushrooms, you don't have to include them. Just use whatever vegetables you happen to like. Now you could also add garlic if you wanted to add garlic, and you can certainly add herbs to this as well. Now the reason that I don't is because we add this to different things throughout the week, and I don't want to be locked into, let's say, Italian flavor, because I like to add these to my salad even if I'm going to have like a Mexican style, let's say, taco salad. So I don't want those Italian flavors to be in there. I want to have options on how I use this throughout the week. So it's good over rice and a baked potato, and if you steam up some dark leafy greens and then add this to it, it adds a tremendous amount of color and flavor because this all gets super sweet when you oven roast it. The onions, just everything is just so delicious, especially those bell peppers. Oh my gosh, they are so amazing when you oven roast them. So even if you don't like some of these vegetables cooked other ways, you might actually enjoy them oven roasted because the flavor is just so different. It's really enhanced. Okay, we're just going to finish up with this squash. So you could add Italian seasoning, Herbs de Provence. You could add some garlic if you wanted to. We'll get to the onions. We have to get those in there because that adds a lot of flavor. We love onions. Now you can do the red onion or sweet onion, whatever you have. You know, everything with more color is supposed to have more nutrition. So the red onions probably have more nutrition than the yellow or white onions. But use whatever you have on hand. And if you don't like onion, skip it. You don't have to have it in there. And you can cut it however you like. I like it to be in little pieces throughout. So I'm going to do it like this and then kind of peel these apart and add them over here. Try not to get that skin in there. So we'll roast this. I'm preheating the oven right now to 425. That seems to work pretty well for my oven. And you know how long it's going to take is going to depend on your oven and how full your pans are. So I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes and we'll take a look at it then. And if they look like they're all caramelized and the way we like them, I'll call it good. If not, we'll let it go a little bit longer. So I like to add this to, some vegetables in the morning. We start our day in a savory way. And I like to add some of the ratatouille to some steamed greens. It just makes them taste really delicious. I also like them at dinner time, added to a bowl. We call them nourish bowls with rice, beans, and greens. And then you add in some of the ratatouille. And oh my gosh, it is so delicious. After these are roasted, we will transfer them to containers like this, glass container here, and put them in the fridge. So that way when we open up the fridge, we can see what we have in there and we know what we can use to make a meal. So I think these are pretty full. And this is a lot of vegetables for the two of us for the week, but they come in really handy. I love to batch cook. So I'm going to get these in the oven and we'll pull them out when they're done and show you what it looks like. Okay, since I have my oven going at 425 and I have 2 trays of ratatouille in there, I have a convection oven and it has 3 racks in it. So I like to take advantage of the fact that I can do a 3rd sheet pan of something if I want. So this is just a little mini sheet pan that it actually fits in my Breville Smart Oven Air as well. So this is just those sweet little baby peppers, and we love these roasted. They are like dessert when you roast them. So I just take them out of the bag, I wash them, and then dry them off, put them on a baking sheet, put them in the oven at 425 for about 30-35 minutes, just until they get just a little bit brown on the outside, and they are so good. You can serve them as an appetizer. You can chop them up then and put them over a salad if you want. I like to just eat them right out of the dish. So we're gonna pop these in the oven to cook along with the ratatouille. The little mini sweet peppers are done. They actually got done before the rest of the ratatouille. And so I went ahead and pulled them out because I wanted you to see how beautiful they look. I did turn some of them over. I had them on the bottom rack. And so they did get nice and roasted on one side, a little bit on the other. So you can see here how they turned out. They're super sweet and delicious like this. They're good hot, warm, cold, however you want to enjoy them. They are fantastic. Make a tray of them and set them out as an appetizer the next time you have people over, and they will go crazy for them. They are super delicious, super sweet. Okay, so we're ready to take these out of the oven. I did rotate the trays at the halfway mark, just because the ones on top were getting more done, and I made a terrible mess on my door because I spilled some of the juices. So you can see how beautiful this looks. Now you can do it as long as you want. If you don't want them to be this brown, you don't have to leave them in as long. Pull them out. If you like them darker, leave them in longer. And we're just going to move these to the island. These are nice and piping hot. So if we wanted to right now, we could take some of this and put it over rice or a baked potato or some spiralized zucchini, pasta. If you eat pasta, it would be super delicious. You could add it to some marinara sauce. That would be great in a Mexican salad, in a taco salad, over rice with greens and some beans. We like to also flavor it then with either salsa or vegan cheese sauce, or a flavored vinegar, or Napa Valley Naturals Grand Reserve is fantastic, or just a regular balsamic. So we like to not season it with herbs because we like to keep our options open for how we're going to use it throughout the week. And this is what I do, is I just put it in these Pyrex containers that have these wonderful little lock-on lids, snapware lids. And I like to divide it up into containers so that when, we use up some of it, then that's just a container that we can pull out of the refrigerator as the week goes on. And we love to batch cook because that way we always have food ready to go in the refrigerator, and that saves time during the week. It saves money because we don't eat out. We're not buying a lot of convenience food because we eat a lot of whole natural foods that we cook ourselves. So it's the batch prepping that helps us stay with this way of eating, because we always have that food ready to go, and we're not constantly having to spend time in the kitchen cooking again. So we hope that you enjoyed this video. We hope you'll try this version of oven ratatouille. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel so that you can continue getting notifications of when I have a new video up. I also usually do a companion blog post on my blog at nutmegnotebook.com. I also have a Facebook page and an Instagram page for Nutmeg Notebook. I would love it if you would follow me on social media and leave me a comment. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye. Set them out as an appetizer the next time you have people over, and they will go crazy for them. They are super delicious, super sweet.